Alright, why do I ride a Fixie? So the short story is that I started riding bikes in 2013. I had a job working at Jimmy John's downtown San Antonio, and we rode around downtown delivering sandwiches on our bikes. And so while I was doing that, I met some guys, a set of brothers that were really into cycling, and they were really good at it, and they all rode Fixies. And the first bike that I was riding was actually my grandma's bike, and I had that bike at work for about a week, and then it got stolen downtown. And so I needed to get a new bike, and so I got one off of Craigslist for like 200 bucks, and it was like an old school steel frame that some young dude turned into a Fixie. And so I went ahead and got that and rode around on that for a while, just on the single speed side, so I wasn't actually riding Fixie yet. And then the brakes went out on it. The brakes really sucked, and they went out, and I didn't know what I was gonna do. And my roommate Henry told me, hey man, why don't you just ride it Fixie, you know what I mean, until you get brakes. So, you know, I was basically riding around on that thing with no brakes, just as a Fixie for a little while, until I got a brake for it. And even after I got the brake, I realized that you know, I wanted to continue riding Fixie. I had so much fun on it, and it was such a good workout and everything. You know, I just never really looked back. And then you know, when it came time for me to get a new bike, you know, I really wanted the Surly Steamroller. I was a big fan of Surly, and the Steamroller is their you know, Fixie model. And you know, I saw this thing on Craigslist for like $450, and it was up in Austin, and it was my size frame and everything, so I knew I had to go get this bike. So so I went up and got this bike, and it's kick-ass, dude. I really like this bike. And I know that, you know, geared bikes are better, and I do plan on getting a geared bike as soon as I can. But you know, Fixies are pretty cool. I know they're a fad. I know they're kind of like a big hipster fad, and yeah, there is a big hipster Fixie culture in the downtown San Antonio area. You don't really see them riding around anywhere else but downtown, and that's probably because of the hills. Downtown is obviously very flat, so it makes riding a Fixie a lot more fun and a lot easier. But once you start going up north in San Antonio, there's like a lot more hills, so riding a Fixie becomes a little bit more challenging, and especially on your knees. The trails that I ride on are pretty flat. I mean, there's like little bumps here and there, but it's nothing that I can't handle on this bike. It's definitely a good workout. I do get frustrated sometimes that I can't, you know, flip over to an easier gear sometimes and just spin out. You know, the grinding up the hills can get really frustrating, but you know, I deal with it, and it's a great workout. And like I said, I do plan on getting a road bike here pretty soon with like the big gears on it and everything like that. But until then, you know, this is my steed, and I'm really, you know, I got the attitude of gratitude, man. So I'm really happy to have this bike. I take care of it, and yeah, I mean, I think that as long as you live in a flat area, riding Fixie can be a really fun thing to do. It's a good workout. It can be a bit dangerous. I don't recommend riding around with no brakes. I see a lot of these people riding around with no brakes and not wearing a helmet and smoking a cigarette. And I'm just like, you're not really taking this cycling thing to another level, you know, doing that. You're just sort of driving from one bar to the next bar, you know. So that's not my kind of thing, man. I really like this Fixie because it really challenges me. It gives me an insane leg workout. I rode this beast from San Antonio to Austin and back in about 24 hour period. and you know, it took my friend Jed and I about 5 hours to get up to Austin, which is not very fast, but you know, we're not the most experienced riders, and you know, we were both on our Fixies, so you know, and at the time I didn't really know what carbing the fuck up really meant. I think if I was super carbed up, maybe that ride would have gone a little bit faster, who knows. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking at getting into cycling and you're thinking about maybe buying a Fixie, I would say go for a regular road bike. Get yourself something with gears, because, you know, riding Fixie, it is kind of like a fad. But, you know, it can be fun, you know, and if it's your only option, I mean, anything is better than no bike, you know. The best bike is the bike that you have right now, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, definitely get out there and ride if you do have a Fixie. If you're looking to buy a bike, get something with gears. You know, I do plan on getting a geared bike, but, you know, if you want to try out riding a Fixie, just make sure you're on some flat areas, and wear a helmet, and make sure you have brakes on that thing. So, yeah, that's about it, about why I ride a Fixie. If you got any comments, go ahead and place them down below in the comments section. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for future videos. Peace.